I don't get monetization on my videos, but even if I did, I don't think this video would be monetized. So I feel pretty free to do this. I've wanted to do that for so long. Moving on. So I'm kind of really digging the vibe here on YouTube right now, where two very prominent YouTube personalities, Eugene Lee Yang of the Try Guys and Dan Howell, posted beautifully crafted videos detailing their experiences with their sexualities. This video's not really gonna be like that at all. I mean, I am going to be telling you about my gay past, present, and future, but I don't really have a magnificently magical way of telling it like they do. Speaking of, you should go watch their videos right now if you haven't seen them. I'm serious. Pause this video, go watch them, come back to me in 50 minutes because Dan's was 45 minutes long, and then enjoy this video. It's okay. I'm here. I'll be waiting. Welcome back. Amazing, right? I told you. Okay, my turn. I'll start off by saying that despite growing up Catholic and going to a Catholic school for 8 years of my life, I pretty much always championed for gay rights. Little Emily out there saying gay rights, standing up for the people in my life that I cared about that I didn't even know, except maybe during high school when, you're gonna laugh, I didn't believe bisexuality was a real thing. Whew. Gotta love internalized biphobia. It really just didn't occur to me that I had a personal stake in the matter, obviously, until I was about 20. Now, that seems kinda late in the game, right? Wrong. There really isn't an age by which you need to have your gay epiphany, and for some people there isn't even a light bulb moment where they finally realize that they've always been this way. For them, it's kind of like you have really dirty glasses, and every day you try and clean them, and they only get a teeny tiny bit cleaner until one day they're completely clean, but you don't even realize it because you've been kind of able to see for a while now anyways, and then so you just keep cleaning them, not even realizing that they're all good. You know, that whole relatable thing that happens to every single person in the world. Not even me, actually, because mine was kind of more of an epiphany. So let's talk about that. I was in my Glee fandom days, and one day I realized, whoops, I have a crush on one of my friends, and she's a girl. So I was just like, what? I had always been so open to the idea of gay people and them existing and being people that I cared about, but I never once thought maybe I would be just, you know, a tiny bit gay. And why would I? I liked guys, and bisexuality wasn't real. This is a joke. I am bisexual. So I had this crush, and I was like, what the hell do I even do with this? So, I mean, I didn't even tell her. She might know. I have no idea because I was kind of obvious about it. Like, I went back the other day looking at the posts that I made during that time, and I was like, whew, kind of thirsty. And let me read a couple of the things that I wrote in this handy dandy notebook that I took around everywhere with me and wrote lots of fan fiction. I hope you got a nice shot of that. This particular passage was not fan fiction, but it is gay ramblings, so really what's the difference? This is a pro-con list about dating this girl who still to this day did not know that I liked her. So not quite sure why I did it, but I did say pros. She's hilarious. She's smart. We share interests. She makes me happy. Skype? I'd have a girlfriend who likes me. Aww. Adorable. And then cons, she lives very far away. Never seen a picture of her. So you know how little looks actually matter to me. Don't know if she likes me, so I have a girlfriend who likes me, I wouldn't know. And would probably have to eventually tell people I have a girlfriend, which is just sad. And then I wrote a poem about her, which was aptly titled Her Name, but I'm not going to say it. So just imagine a name. Your name gives me butterflies, and the thought of you makes my heart swell. I'm pretty sure this is happiness, though I don't know it well. Depressing. But this whole thing was less about her and more about what it meant for me. And what it meant was I had to examine why I felt the way I did and look at what led me to actually develop this crush in the first place. Like, was she an exception, or was I just simply overlooking a lot of things in my life? I think you can guess which one it is. Yes, there were many things that I overlooked. And I think this is kind of common for people in the middle of the sexuality spectrum, because we live in a heteronormative society where if I'm a woman, which I am, and I'm attracted to men, which I am, then that's it. I have no soul searching to do. I'm done. I'm straight. But that's not always true. It's not just gay or straight. It's a spectrum, or really multiple spectrums, that includes how much attraction one can feel and to whom. Whomst? Moving on. But from a young age, I knew I was interested in guys. I mean, I probably had a crush on every single guy in my class from kindergarten to 5th grade. So I didn't really feel the need to look further into myself, even if now, looking back, I realized there were moments that were, pretty gay. So I was 20 years old, and I was going back to elementary school, middle school, high school, in my mind, re-examining everything that I thought I knew in a different perspective. And I'm like, oh yeah, no shit, I've always been kinda gay. Now there are countless examples that I could tell you all day, but a couple stick out in my mind, like when I was 13 and I went to a friend's sleepover, hoping that I would get dared to kiss one of the other girls, and when it happened, and I enjoyed it, I remember feeling guilty for the next, month of my life. Thanks, Catholic Church. And when I was 15, no joke, I wrote in my diary. A diary which I've barely used. I don't usually use diaries. The only thing I've ever used is journals, and I used them to write fan fiction. So I wrote in my diary, randomly, quote unquote, I think I found the girl I would go gay for. How did I not know? Because I had a boyfriend, so I was straight. It's fine, guys. And to bring this back to what I mentioned in a previous video, how I spend most of my life, fandom. In my teen years, I got my hands on every gay movie and TV show I could imagine. Imagine Me and You, Brokeback Mountain, Degrassi, Queer as Folk, South of Nowhere, and the list goes on and on. But it doesn't just stop at media with gay content in it. It did go further into, I would watch a lot of cheerleading movies, Sugar and Spice, But I'm a Cheerleader, which literally was about a gay cheerleader who realized she was gay because of the other cheerleaders. And of course, Bring It On. This one actually popped back up in my mind recently because of a tweet by fellow bisexual Alana Bennett, who rightly tweeted that they gave Eliza Dushku's character a fraternal twin that was exactly like her, just so that Kirsten Dunst's character could end up with a man. And my oblivious bisexual ass was super into both of them. Eliza Dushku was one of those people that I watched pretty much everything she did, although I did miss the boat on Buffy and Angel, only to watch them in 2016, and I'm just saying, faith in Buffy. I've always leaned towards gay ships, with a few exceptions here and there, but as I was examining myself in my early 20s, I realized why that was. I wanted to see people like me happy. I mean, I wanted to see people of the same gender get together just like every other straight couple did on every other TV show. And yet, a lot of them really did not end up together, and I'm not bitter. It's fine. But I'm happy and free to make a video like this because I'm pretty fully out of the closet. as of like 2 weeks ago. Not that coming out is just one experience. I mean, a lot of queer people know that it's a lot of experiences. It's something that you do all the time. It's something that you have to be selective about for fear of harassment or being hurt. And in the end, it's just something that can take a lot of emotional energy. And I've been lucky. I mean, I've had amazing coming out experiences. All of my friends and family accepted me and loved me. And there was only one minor snafu where it was me yelling it at my mom. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And even then, she took it pretty well. I mean, I don't like to dwell on it, but it does kind of bum me out that I'll never actually get to tell my dad. And it's Father's Day, and that sucks. I mean, I know he would have supported me, but it's a moment that I'll never get to have, and that sucks. And yet I'm still so lucky because it is still so dangerous for some people to come out to their friends and family. They could lose their job, they could be kicked out, they could be hurt or killed. And that's why Pride Month exists, and why straight pride is unnecessary. And it's why representation in media matters. Like Mr. Ratburn from Arthur getting married to another male rat or whatever he was, like, that is important. That is something that really matters, because we need to be teaching our younger generation that it's okay to be who you are and love who you love without fear or shame. You are absolutely perfect the way you are. So yeah, we've still got a ways to go in terms of representation, but I'm really excited to see all of the new LGBTQ plus characters and storylines popping up in TV and movies nowadays. It's really comforting. Because even though in my teen years I was grasping onto everything that I could that was gay, there wasn't very much to glean from. And speaking of the LGBTQ plus community, I want to emphasize the tea here, because trans people are dying and they're getting their rights stripped away from them every day, their healthcare, their well-being, and it's just not okay. Your religious or other biases should not allow you to hurt someone else. As Dan Howell said in the video that you watched, queer people exist. Choosing not to accept them is not an option. But getting back to my own story here, how did I land on the label bisexual? Well, when I was first questioning things, I did a lot of research, and I kind of just dove deep into all of the sexualities and all of their definitions. And the first label that I kind of landed on was pansexual. The definition of pansexual that I believe is most commonly accepted is attraction regardless of gender. And if I'm being honest, that's me in a nutshell. Then why are you bi? Because I want to be. No, but seriously, when I found the definition of bisexual, it seemed kind of transphobic or at best exclusionary, and that's just not what I'm about. But upon further review, I realized that the definition that permeated into mainstream culture wasn't really the one that most bisexual people related to or agreed with. Oh, the one that makes people think you're either transphobic or promiscuous? Go figure, that was wrong. My personal definition of bisexual, and the definition of a lot of bisexual people that I know of, is attraction to my gender and other genders. Now, bi means two. There's two groups of people, my gender and other genders. Two. And this might be stupid, but I just like the word bisexual. And I like the bisexual pride colors. And I mean, maybe I'm trying to prove something to high school Emily who thought bisexuality wasn't real. I mean, seriously, the lack of self-awareness for someone who is very often very self-centered. Hashtag Leos, am I right? My birthday's coming up. Now, I teased that we'd talk about past, present, and future gay. So here's where we get a bit prophetic. For the longest time, like, seriously, since the last time I had a real relationship, which was like 10 years ago, I've always said I don't want to get married. Now that I think about it, maybe that's why my mom kept asking me if I was gay when I was younger. And again, I'm sorry, Mom, but I didn't know, and then when I did know, I was like, I'm not ready for this conversation, gotta go, bye! No, not bye! It's fine. Love you. And no, we're not gonna gloss over it. Yes, it's true, I haven't dated anyone in over 10 years. And to be honest, I just haven't wanted to. I mean, I had random crushes here and there, but my focus was mainly inward, like I said, self-centered. No, but I had depression and anxiety, and like I was at school, and then I wasn't at school, and then I was working 2 jobs, and then I was working and going to school, and I just had a lot going on and no time for even myself. So I always thought, if I can't even take care of myself right now, then how am I supposed to have room for anyone else in my life? And to be honest, I really just like the freedom of being single. I like being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and not having to check in with someone and being like, do you have plans? Do you want to do these things together? Should we always be together at all times? I don't want that in my life. And I still kind of feel that way now. But in the future, who knows? I can say that I've warmed up to the idea of getting married. Still don't want kids. Again, sorry, Mom. But marriage is no longer a hard no for me. I'm open to it. And in reality, the person I marry, if I so choose, could be a man, could be a woman, could be someone who's non-binary, etc. Because that just doesn't make a difference to me. It's funny, I think a lot of queer people can point to like one person in their life that like made them question their sexuality. And sometimes it's like a celebrity, but sometimes it's someone they know in real life. And sometimes they have no idea that they affected you in the way that they did. If you were watching this and you are my friend in the Glee fandom, obviously this is about you. All of you. Just kidding. But seriously, if you are watching and you somehow know that this is about you, I'm sorry, kind of. Like, it's weird, right? Like, not that I had a crush on you, but because I think of you as this person who really affected me in a big way and made me think about who I am. And for that, I want to thank you, because I am the most proud that I've ever been to be me. And I'm in a really good place. And maybe I would have gotten there eventually without that push, but who's to say? And to my friends and family who supported me, thank you too, because we need more people in this world who lift others around them up and make them feel safe and loved. I can only ask that you do that for other people too. Don't let me be the only queer person that you accept and love just because I'm family or because you care about me. Love strangers with the capacity that you have for me and other people in your life. And to the LGBTQ+ community, both those who are out and those who are not. Happy Pride Month, and have a gay day. I'm putting some of my favorite LGBTQ+ YouTubers in the description. Please go subscribe to them and support queer creators. Thanks!